Hey guys, so today I have a roadmap. That's right, an actual roadmap for you when it comes to financial freedom. Now, here's the deal. I actually have step-by-steps, and I want to call this something special. Drum roll, please. I want to call this the asset by asset, growing your financial freedom. And I guarantee you it's going to make sense. And here's the deal. Even if you're that person right now that's saying, oh, Leland, I live paycheck to paycheck, nothing I can do. As long as you can earn money and you have a job, I don't even care what your job is, but as long as you can earn money, this can work for you. All right, so let's begin. So as you know, when it comes to financial freedom, having wealth, it really starts off with doing things step by step. This is not something that's going to be overnight, but it is going to take less time than you think. You'll be surprised what you can accomplish in as little as 6 months, okay? So with that being said, it's 3 assets that we're going to focus on. Number 1 is actually going to be the stock market. And the reason for that is because it's very easy to get into. Number 2 is going to be real estate. The reason for that is because it's one of the best vehicles you can use to not only grow and accelerate your wealth, you can also earn real cash, like cash flow. And number 3, you get tons of tax benefits that you get with real estate that you just don't get with other asset groups. Number 3 is going to be that of a self-directed account. Why is that important? Self-directed accounts allow you to protect your assets. And if you do it the right way, not only will it protect your assets, what it will also do is that it will help you maintain and grow those assets tax-free and or tax-deferred. Now, before we actually start investing in the assets themselves, we want to start thinking about something that's most important, and that's investing in you. That's right, you, the person, the individual. Investing in you is way more important than investing in an actual asset, because if we can't get the investing in you part done correctly, we will never ever be able to invest in any asset. We'll find ourselves investing in an asset, right? As in buying a real estate property, as in buying real estate or buying stock or buying cryptocurrency, and then later on liquidating it because we weren't in the right mindset and we weren't putting ourselves in the right environment and the right situations to where we wouldn't have to actually touch those assets, right? I don't know about you, but it sucks to ever have to utilize any type of savings or any type of asset that you put there specifically for retirement purposes. So the first thing that we're going to invest in is going to be you. Now, how are we going to do that? So the number one way that we're going to get you to invest in yourself is we're going to have to get you to start saving your first $100. Now, here's the thing. I don't care if you have $10 million saved. Do this. Just do it, right? Just do it. Start investing your first $100. Now, the first $100 that you save, you're actually not going to put it into an account. You're going to put that first $100 in your wallet, and you're going to carry it around with you wherever you go. What this should do is it should get you a good reminder that money is always with you. The reason that most people don't invest is because they're used to not being able to invest. They're basically paying things from paycheck to paycheck. You get that, right? And so what happens is they're so used to basically emptying their bank account, whether it's paying all their bills, whatever. They're accustomed to that, and that feels familiar and that feels comfortable. I want you to become familiar and comfortable with having that extra $100 with you. Now, here's the deal. Having that first $100, it's going to make you feel that money is always with you and that money belongs to you. And hopefully it's going to get you to that feeling to become comfortable with having money. Now that you have that first $100 saved, you're going to save another $100, but this time we're going to put it in an account that you're going to use to actually buy stock. Now, here's the thing. At this moment in time, it really doesn't matter the type of account that you're using. I don't care if you're using Webull. I don't care if you're using, Cash App. I don't care what account you're using. As long as you are investing in what's considered to be stable and safe, quote unquote, safe stock, okay? And preferably maybe even the S&P 500. Put $100 into the S&P 500 or something relatively safe, quote unquote safe, right? Within the stock market. It has less to do with the platform and less really to do with the stock. It's to get you in the habit of taking money away from your normal ecosystem, of spending it and being able to allocate it, put it somewhere else where it can actually get the opportunity to grow and do something more. Something to where you can look at it on a regular basis, but also not be encouraged to touch it on a regular basis. This is really important, okay? Now, you're gonna continue this same step over and over again until you're able to actually get your asset level to $5,000 or $10,000, okay? $5,000 or $10,000. Reaching the $5,000 or $10,000 mark for your savings, or really for your asset value, is really the turning point that you need. And so now that we have that handy, we want to go ahead and look for ways to actually begin to lower our taxes. And the way that we can do this, the best way we can do this, is actually to buy some real estate. Enter real estate, right? Now, when it comes to real estate, we want to look for real estate that is going to be located in what's called flyover states. These are states typically in the Midwest, or what's called the heart of America. Typically, the property values in these areas are lower. However, the rental values are actually pretty stable. So places like Mishawaka, Indiana, or Birmingham, Alabama, right? These are areas that maybe aren't the best or preferred destinations for the average thrill seeker, but they're fantastic for working in blue collar areas. For example, right now you could buy a property in Birmingham, Alabama, like the one that's on the screen right now, for about $90,000, and it's in move-in ready condition. Also, for the same property that's in Birmingham, Alabama, you can actually lease the same property for $1,300. That means if you were to have a 20% down payment for the same property, that you yourself can actually lease or rent this out to someone else, to a tenant, for about $1,300, what can make you cash flow of anywhere between $500 to $800 per month. Now, if you think about it, that's going to be passive cash flow, in which, if you're still investing into the stock market, right, you're going to you can go ahead and watch that asset grow more and more, so that you can then go ahead and repeat the same exact tactic months down the road. If you think about it, you have that $100 that you're investing into the stock market per month. You have your savings still, and in addition to that, you now have a rental property that is also allowing you to save hundreds of dollars. But hold on, I got a secret to tell you. Not everyone wants to invest in what's considered to be flyover states. As a matter of fact, not everyone wants to invest simply by gathering a down payment. And I totally get that, I understand it. If you are the person who does not want to go through that quote unquote hassle, or you're impatient and you just can't save enough money by putting it into a money marketing account or putting it into the stock market, I get it. So here's what you're going to do instead. What you can do is you can actually use what's called creative financing, but there's a caveat. For creative financing to work, this is like the whole no money down real estate thing. It's not for everyone, right? But you have to be very, very good, or at least willing to invest in like negotiating, learning the market, becoming basically an expert, on and on and on and on. So granted, could you acquire properties without having to save a down payment? Absolutely, right? You could raise capital to do it, but it's going to require you to put more effort in, and also require for you to want to become an expert enough to actually utilize those tactics. Now, like I said, most people just aren't willing to put forth that kind of effort. And so if that's who you are, you don't want to put forth that effort, cool, let's go to step 3. So here we are in stage 3, and this is actually our kind of semi-final stage. This is where you're going to plan your exit. So at this point, you should have 1, 2, or maybe even 3, 4 different rental properties available, right? You've utilized step 1 and 2 over and over again, and you've been collecting rental properties. At this point, you can have an exit strategy. This basically means that you can either sell the asset that you have and maybe buy a new one, or you could refinance the asset that you have and maybe buy a new one. Ultimately, whatever your exit strategy is going to be, whether it's to sell or to refinance, the idea and the focus should be to purchase another asset. Now, the cool thing about this is where the self-directed accounts come into play. There are lots of self-directed accounts. There are Coverdales, there are SIDRAs, there are solo 401ks, and a lot more. Now, these self-directed accounts allow you to invest into alternative investments. That means investing in the cryptocurrency, business acquisitions, and much more. The other benefit is that they have lots and lots of tax benefits and protection from lawsuits. So if you think about this, it becomes kind of a no-brainer. But you have to make sure you have assets to actually place inside of those accounts. And yes, you can place your real estate inside those same accounts. So that concludes it. I literally have given you 3 steps in which you can follow. Step 1, step 2, step 3. That as long as you have the ability to save up $100 and possibly save up $100 a month, you can begin to snowball that. Now keep in mind, I know some of you guys out there, you love Dave Ramsey, and no, I didn't say snowball your savings so you can pay off debt. That's not what I said. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you to basically do the opposite. Basically snowball your savings to where it changes your identity and your paradigm, then snowball that same savings until you can begin to purchase smaller assets that are more accessible and ultimately assets that are easy to be liquidated, i.e. stocks, right? To eventually get to the asset that you really want, which is going to be a physical asset that has tons of tax advantages and will also give you cash flow in the process, i.e. real estate. And then ultimately to begin to look forward to how you can preserve wealth, grow it tax-free, and ultimately begin to have an acquisition arm like so many other wealthy people do. So nonetheless, I hope you learned something from this. If you have any questions or if you want me to dive deeper into any of these topics, please let me know in the comment section. Peace.